One of the hardest things for us as humans is learning to trust timing that we cannot control. We live in a world that moves fast. Everything seems to happen instantly. Messages, news, opportunities. And when life doesn't deliver what we expect, we feel frustrated, impatient, even defeated. But I want you to hear me clearly today. God's timing is perfect, and it is always worth trusting. The very fact that something hasn't happened yet does not mean it will never happen. It simply means that the moment is not right. You see, God is never late. He is never early. He is never confused or unprepared. Every event in your life is part of a plan that you cannot yet fully understand, but that does not make it any less intentional. Think about the moments when you thought you were ready for something. You thought doors would open, relationships would align, or opportunities would come. And yet, nothing happened. At the time, it felt like failure. It felt like rejection. And maybe you even questioned if God had forgotten about you. I understand that feeling. But I want you to consider that perhaps the delay was not denial. It was protection. Perhaps it was preparation. Perhaps God was working behind the scenes to align circumstances, people, and timing perfectly, so that when the moment arrived, it would be flawless, effective, and life-changing. We often don't see the invisible threads that are being woven into our story, and that is why patience and trust are so vital. There is power in surrendering your own timetable and acknowledging that God knows best. I know it is tempting to try to force things, to rush outcomes, to make things happen in your own strength. We think that if we push hard enough, if we network, if we hustle just a little more, we can speed up the process. But the truth is, our efforts, though important, cannot substitute for divine timing. Sometimes God delays not because He does not care, but because He is orchestrating something far better than we can imagine. The right person, the right opportunity, the right breakthrough. These things happen not at the wrong time, not a moment too soon, and not a moment too late. They happen exactly when they are meant to happen. And here's the most beautiful part. When you trust in God's timing, your life begins to move with a sense of peace that is unshakable. You are no longer tossed by every delay or setback. You stop comparing your journey to someone else's. You stop feeling the pressure of societal timelines, the whispers of doubt from those who think they know what is best for you. Because you understand that your life is uniquely orchestrated, and every moment you are waiting, every door that hasn't opened, is a part of the grand design that is far beyond what your eyes can see. I want you to reflect for a moment on the stories of people who waited faithfully and were rewarded when the timing was perfect. Think about the patient farmer who sows seeds and waters them without seeing immediate results, yet trusts that eventually the harvest will come. Every delay is an opportunity to grow, to strengthen your faith, to cultivate character, and to prepare for what God has planned. Waiting is not wasted time. It is work of a different kind. It is a quiet, steady work of faith that trains your heart to recognize God's hand in your life. And let me remind you, this does not mean you sit idly by. Trusting God's timing is not passive. It is active faith. You prepare, you improve yourself, you pray, you serve, you love, and you act where you can. But while you do all that, you leave the outcomes in God's hands. You release the burden of forcing things and accept the peace of knowing that everything will happen exactly when it should. You see, rushing or forcing things often leads to mistakes, to opportunities lost, to regret. But when you wait for the right moment, guided by divine timing, your actions are multiplied in power and effectiveness. So today, I want you to take a deep breath and release the weight of impatience. Know that the delay is not denial. Know that your season is coming. Trust that God is preparing everything you need for your life in ways that will surprise and overwhelm you with goodness. And while you wait, walk in faith, stay calm, keep your heart pure, and remain steadfast in your trust. Because when the moment arrives, it will be perfect, and it will be all the more beautiful because you waited faithfully. Your time is coming, and it will come at exactly the right moment. One of the greatest challenges we face in life is the constant pull of worry. It creeps in quietly. Often when we are alone with our thoughts, when the future feels uncertain, or when we feel a weight on our shoulders that seems too heavy to bear. And I know how easy it is to get caught up in that. We start imagining the worst, spinning out possibilities that may never happen, and suddenly our peace is gone. But I want you to hear me clearly today. Worry does not change your situation, it only steals your joy, your clarity, and your strength. Every moment spent in anxiety is a moment where faith could have grown, where hope could have taken root, where peace could have filled your heart. Worry is a natural feeling. We cannot always control the circumstances around us, but we can control how we respond. The first step in letting go of anxiety is acknowledging it. Do not pretend it is not there, because that only gives it more power. Recognize it for what it is, fear trying to take the place of faith. Then consciously choose to hand it over. Surrendering worry is not a sign of weakness. It is a declaration of trust. It is saying, I may not understand, I may not see the way forward, but I know God is in control. I will not carry what is not mine to carry. Think about the times in your life when worry consumed you. Maybe it was about finances, about relationships, about health, about opportunities that hadn't come yet. At the time, it may have felt overwhelming, like there was no solution, no way out. But looking back, you may realize that those moments passed. Life moved forward, challenges were met, solutions appeared, doors opened that you had not expected. What if all that worry could have been replaced with trust from the very beginning? What peace you could have known, what energy you could have poured into action instead of fear. Letting go of anxiety does not mean ignoring reality. It means refusing to let fear control your heart and mind. It means acting responsibly where you can, planning where it is wise, but releasing the burden of outcomes you cannot control. Every moment you worry about what is not yet, you rob yourself of what is. You rob yourself of the present, the very moment where blessings are waiting, lessons are being learned, and growth is occurring. When you surrender worry, you open yourself to guidance, clarity, and opportunities you may never have noticed while your mind was clouded with fear. Prayer is a powerful tool in this process. It is more than asking for things. It is conversation. It is release. It is alignment with something greater than yourself. When you pray, you are giving your burdens to the one who already holds the world in his hands. Meditation, reflection, journaling, these are ways to calm the mind, to slow the racing thoughts, to create space for peace to enter. And even in the midst of uncertainty, even when the future is unclear, you can carry a stillness within that cannot be shaken. That stillness is faith in action. And let me remind you, the human heart is not meant to carry what it cannot bear. Anxiety left unchecked grows heavier over time. It affects your health, your decisions, your relationships, and your outlook on life. But faith is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Every time you choose trust over fear, every time you consciously release worry, you strengthen that muscle. You train your heart to rest in confidence, to walk with calm assurance, to face the unknown without panic, knowing that the guidance of a higher power is constant, even when the path is unclear. It is also important to surround yourself with peace, wherever you can find it. Sometimes anxiety is fueled by negativity, words, images, or conversations that amplify fear rather than inspire hope. Choose to fill your mind with what uplifts, encourages, and reassures. Speak words of faith. Repeat promises you know to be true. And remind yourself daily that worry is a weight you do not have to carry. Replace fear with trust, doubt with hope, panic with calm. It may not happen instantly, but with persistence, it will become a natural rhythm in your life. So today, I want you to take a deep breath and consciously release what you have been holding on to. Let go of every anxious thought, every fear, every what-if scenario that keeps you awake at night. Hand it over. Trust that God's plan is unfolding exactly as it should. Focus on what you can do, act where you can act, and leave the rest in capable hands. Peace will fill the space where worry once lived, and you will find strength you did not know was possible. It is so easy to look at life and only see what is happening on the surface. When difficulties come, when disappointments hit, when people let us down or circumstances feel unfair, our first instinct is to ask, why me? Or why now? But I want you to hear me today. There is a hand guiding your life that you cannot always see, a plan that is working even when everything around you seems uncertain or chaotic. Every situation, every challenge, every blessing, even the small, seemingly insignificant ones, has a purpose in shaping your story. Sometimes the hardest moments in life are the very moments that prepare us for the greatest blessings. We don't always recognize it in the middle of the struggle. Pain, setbacks, and delays can feel unbearable. They can make us question our worth, our direction, or even our faith. But these are not signs of abandonment. They are invitations to see beyond the surface, to seek the lessons that lie beneath, and to recognize that God's hand is at work, even when it is hidden from our eyes. There is purpose in preparation, and there is design in delay. Think about the times in your life when a door closed unexpectedly, when a plan fell apart, or when you faced disappointment. At the time, it may have felt like the end. You may have felt hopeless or defeated. But looking back, you realize that those very moments steered you towards something better. Perhaps you met someone who changed your life, discovered a strength you never knew you had, or avoided a path that would have led to harm. Every setback is a setup for a greater good when we recognize God's hand guiding us. Recognizing God's presence in every situation also means seeing beyond the immediate discomfort and trusting that there is a larger story being written. When something doesn't make sense today, it does not mean it will never make sense. Life is a series of moments, some challenging, some joyful, all contributing to a greater purpose. When you begin to view life through this lens, your perspective shifts. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstances, and you start to see yourself as a participant in a beautifully orchestrated story, where every detail has meaning and every delay has design. And let me be honest with you, this is not always easy. It takes practice to train your mind to look for purpose instead of panic. It requires patience to search for the lessons hidden in hardship instead of giving in to despair. But when you do, something remarkable happens. You begin to notice the subtle ways life is guiding you, the doors that open just when you need them, the people who show up in perfect timing, the opportunities that appear after what seemed like endless waiting. You begin to see that life is not random and your journey is not accidental. Every challenge, every twist, every turn is a part of a grand design. Sometimes recognizing God's hand also means finding gratitude in situations that feel difficult. There is a transformative power in saying, even this hardship has purpose. Even this pain is working for my good. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is wrong to what is being prepared. It changes your heart from doubt to trust, from fear to faith. When you cultivate this perspective, you begin to move through life with confidence, knowing that nothing is wasted and nothing is outside of God's watchful care. I want you to understand that even mistakes and failures are not outside of this plan. They are lessons in disguise. They teach humility, resilience, patience, and wisdom. They prepare you for opportunities that you would not have been ready for otherwise. Recognizing God's hand in every situation means acknowledging that what may seem like a detour, a wrong turn, or a delay is in fact part of the journey that leads you exactly where you are meant to be. It means trusting that even the unseen and the misunderstood are working for your good. Life begins to take on a new depth when you embrace this truth. You stop resisting what is and start cooperating with it. You stop questioning why me and start asking, what is this moment teaching me? How is it preparing me for what is ahead? Your heart becomes steadier, your mind calmer, and your steps surer. And the beauty of it all is that When you begin to recognize God's hand in every situation, you no longer live in fear of the unknown because you understand that nothing happens by accident and nothing is wasted. Every moment is purposeful, every challenge meaningful, and every blessing intentional. So today, I encourage you to look at your life through this lens. See beyond the struggle, beyond the delays, beyond the setbacks. Look for the hand that is guiding, the plan that is unfolding, the story that is being written with your life at the center. When you begin to see God's hand in every situation, you will walk with confidence, live with peace, and embrace every moment, knowing it is exactly where you are meant to be. Trust the unseen hand, for it is leading you to exactly where you need to be. Patience is one of the most underrated qualities in our fast-paced world. We live in an era of instant gratification, where waiting feels like a waste of time and delays are seen as obstacles rather than opportunities. But I want to tell you today that patience is not passive. It is active strength. It is a quiet power that builds resilience, shapes character, and prepares you for everything God has planned for your life. When you embrace patience, you are not giving up. You are standing firm, trusting that the timing and the process are shaping you for something greater. Think about a seed planted in the ground. It doesn't sprout the next day. It doesn't know that sunlight and rain are coming, and it cannot speed up its growth by trying harder. It simply grows, slowly, steadily, according to its own rhythm, and when it finally emerges, it is stronger, ready to withstand storms, and able to flourish fully. That is what patience does in your life. Every delay, every period of waiting, is nurturing your spirit, building your endurance, and strengthening your capacity for the blessings that are coming. Patience is not easy. It requires faith that what is unseen is still real, that what is delayed is still on its way. It requires courage to trust in a process that can feel slow and uncertain. But I promise you, the moments you resist, the moments you push too hard, the moments you try to force outcomes, those often lead to frustration, mistakes, and regrets. When you choose patience, you allow life to unfold in the way it was designed to, and you become ready to receive the rewards fully, without compromise, without wasted effort, and without missing the lessons along the way. Life has a way of testing our patience. There are times when doors don't open, when relationships are challenging, when opportunities seem to pass us by. It is natural to feel discouraged or restless. But the truth is, these are the very moments that build your inner strength. Every trial you endure with faith, every delay you meet with trust, every disappointment you face without losing hope, adds layers of resilience to your character. You become someone who can handle more, someone who can withstand storms, someone who is prepared for the responsibilities and blessings that lie ahead. Patience also teaches you perspective. When you stop rushing and start observing, you begin to see the bigger picture. You notice the ways life is preparing you, the people who are coming into your life at the right time, and the opportunities that are aligning quietly behind the scenes. You begin to understand that a delay is not a denial, and a detour is not a mistake. Life is a process, and patience allows you to move through it with grace, awareness, and wisdom. You begin to appreciate the journey as much as the destination, and you realize that the waiting period is often the most important part of your preparation. I want you to remember that patience is not about doing nothing. It is about active waiting. It's about preparing yourself, improving yourself, learning, growing, and positioning yourself to be ready when the right moment arrives. It is about trusting that every step, even the ones that feel like setbacks, are moving you closer to your purpose. Patience teaches endurance, and endurance becomes the foundation for resilience, confidence, and unwavering faith. There is power in patience because it strengthens the mind and the spirit. It allows you to respond with wisdom rather than react in frustration. It allows you to stay calm in uncertainty rather than panic in fear. It allows you to see God's hand at work even when the results are not immediate. And over time, the patience you practice becomes a natural rhythm in your life. It is no longer a struggle, it becomes a way of living. you no longer chase outcomes. Instead, you focus on growth, faithfulness, and trust, knowing that everything will unfold at the perfect time. Many of the greatest achievements and breakthroughs in life come not to those who rush, but to those who endure. The person who waits faithfully, who perseveres, who remains steadfast, is the one who is ready when opportunity knocks. Patience builds resilience because it teaches you to keep going, to keep believing, to keep acting faithfully, even when the finish line is not yet visible. It trains your heart to rely not on immediate results, but on consistent faith. So, I want you to embrace the power of patience in your life. Do not despise the waiting periods. Do not resent the delays. Do not measure your worth by how quickly something happens. Instead, see every moment as preparation, every delay as refinement, every challenge as a teacher. When you cultivate patience, you cultivate strength. When you endure with faith, you become resilient. And when the right time comes, you will be fully prepared to step into everything God has planned for you, confident, strong, and ready to receive it in its fullness. Endure with patience, for it is in the waiting that your strength is forged. One of the greatest challenges we face in life is staying focused on our purpose when distractions and delays seem endless. It's easy to lose sight of what truly matters when the world constantly pulls us in different directions. Opportunities come and go, people influence our decisions, and circumstances shift in ways we cannot control. In those moments, it can feel like progress is impossible, like your dreams are slipping further away, and the temptation to abandon your purpose grows stronger. But I want you to hear me today. Your purpose is not dependent on speed or convenience. It is anchored in divine design. When you stay focused, even through delays and challenges, you are aligning yourself with the plan that God has for you. Purpose is not just a goal or a dream. It is the reason you were placed on this earth. It is what gives your life meaning, direction, and fulfillment. And when you are focused on it, distractions lose their power. You begin to understand that every experience, every connection, every challenge is either preparing you or guiding you closer to what you are meant to accomplish. The key is consistency. Even when results aren't immediate, even when doors don't open as quickly as you hoped, the act of staying aligned with your purpose keeps you moving forward, keeps you growing, and keeps you ready for the opportunities that are coming at exactly the right time. It is natural to be discouraged when progress seems slow. You may see others achieving goals faster or seemingly more easily, and you may wonder why your journey is taking longer. But comparison is the enemy of focus. Your purpose is unique. Your timeline is unique. What someone else accomplishes has no bearing on the season you are in. The person who compares themselves to others misses the lessons, the preparation, and the growth that is taking place in their own life. Focus means staying in your lane, walking your path, and trusting that every step you take, no matter how small, is moving you closer to what God has designed for you. Focus also requires discipline. Life will constantly tempt you with shortcuts, quick fixes, and distractions. It is easy to divert your energy toward what is immediate rather than what is meaningful. But when you remain disciplined, when you commit to actions that are consistent with your purpose, you build momentum that lasts. Every small step matters. Every effort you put in, even when the results are not yet visible, is an investment in your future. The discipline to stay focused strengthens not just your skills, but also your character, your patience, and your faith. And purpose is not passive. Staying focused does not mean waiting idly for things to happen. It means taking intentional action in alignment with your goals and values. It means showing up, doing the work, learning, growing, and preparing yourself for the moments that will define your life. Purpose demands engagement, effort, and faithfulness. And even when the world seems uncertain, when obstacles appear, or when results are delayed, focus ensures that your energy is invested where it matters most, on what will bring lasting impact and fulfillment. Sometimes staying focused on your purpose requires saying no. saying no to distractions, no to negativity, no to influences that pull you away from your path. It means guarding your heart, your mind, and your time, and refusing to let temporary concerns or outside pressures determine your direction. Protecting your focus is not selfish, it is necessary. It ensures that you are fully available for the opportunities, relationships, and experiences that will serve your purpose. There is also a power in maintaining focus during uncertainty. Life is rarely predictable. There will be delays, detours, and obstacles that test your resolve. But when you remain focused, you keep your eyes on the bigger picture. You trust that every step, every challenge, and every moment of waiting is part of the process that is shaping you for your ultimate purpose. Focus allows you to navigate uncertainty with confidence, patience, and clarity, because you know that your path is guided and your efforts are meaningful. Purpose is what anchors your soul amidst chaos. It gives clarity when confusion surrounds you. It provides motivation when you feel tired or discouraged. And the more you stay connected to your purpose, the more peace you feel in every season of waiting. You begin to understand that life is not about rushing to achieve, but about faithfully walking the path laid before you. You realize that even the delays, the setbacks, and the challenges are serving your growth, your resilience, and your ultimate readiness to step into what God has prepared. So, I encourage you to hold tightly to your purpose. Protect it, nourish it, walk faithfully in its direction, regardless of the noise, the distractions, or the uncertainty around you. Do not let impatience or comparison steal your focus. Your purpose is alive, it is active, and it is worth your energy, your discipline, and your unwavering attention. Every day that you stay focused, you are building the foundation for the life you were meant to live. Stay focused on your purpose and let it guide every step you take. Faith is a remarkable gift. It is more than belief, it is trust, it is assurance, it is confidence in the unseen. And yet it is often the first thing we forget when life becomes challenging. We face difficulties, delays, disappointments, and suddenly doubt creeps in. We question ourselves, our abilities, even the path that we are on. But faith is what steadies us in the storm. It is the foundation that allows peace to dwell in our hearts, even when the world around us feels chaotic and uncertain. You see, peace does not come from circumstances changing. It comes from a heart that trusts that God's plan is greater than our understanding. When you walk in faith, you no longer live in fear of the unknown. You stop trying to control every outcome, and instead, you learn to rely on guidance that is perfect, even when invisible. Faith allows you to move through life with confidence because it is rooted in something far bigger than your own strength. It reminds you that every situation, every delay, every unexpected turn has meaning, every setback is temporary, and every challenge is an opportunity to grow. When faith becomes your foundation, worry loses its grip, anxiety begins to fade, and a quiet assurance takes its place. Faith also transforms the way you face uncertainty. It gives you courage to move forward, even when the path is unclear. Many of us wait for certainty before taking action. But faith says, I may not see the entire road, but I trust the one who holds the map. It allows you to take steps toward your dreams, toward your goals, toward the life you are meant to live without being paralyzed by fear of what might go wrong. And the more you exercise this faith, the stronger it becomes. Every step you take in trust builds momentum, reinforces belief, and strengthens your inner peace. Peace that comes from faith is different from temporary calm. It is not dependent on what is happening around you. It is a deep, unshakable serenity that remains even when life throws challenges your way. When you have faith, you are not tossed by every difficulty, disappointment, or delay. You understand that life is a process, and that every experience, whether pleasant or painful, is part of a larger design that is working for your good. Faith gives you the perspective to see beyond immediate circumstances, to recognize opportunities in challenges, and to feel gratitude even in the midst of difficulty. Confidence flows naturally from this faith. When you trust that you are being guided, that you are prepared, and that timing is perfect, you no longer doubt your ability to handle what comes your way. Confidence does not mean arrogance. It means clarity, assurance, and readiness. It allows you to face challenges with a steady heart, to make decisions without panic, and to act with courage, knowing that you are supported by a plan that is far beyond your own understanding. Every time you step forward in faith, you reinforce your confidence, and it becomes a virtuous cycle. Faith builds peace, peace builds confidence, and confidence strengthens faith. Faith also allows you to rest in moments of uncertainty. Instead of constantly striving, worrying, or forcing outcomes, you learn to pause and trust the process. This doesn't mean you are passive. It means your energy is directed where it matters most, on preparation, growth, and service, while leaving outcomes in capable hands. Resting in faith does not weaken you, it strengthens you. It replenishes your spirit, restores clarity to your mind, and gives you resilience to face the challenges ahead. Another beautiful aspect of faith is that it helps you see the unseen. You begin to notice opportunities, guidance, and blessings that you would have missed if you were only focused on fear or doubt. You start to recognize the subtle ways life is orchestrated, the doors that open at the right moment, the people who appear to support you, and the answers that arrive in unexpected ways. Faith allows you to see beyond the surface and understand that life is not random, and that every step you take, even the small or delayed ones, contributes to a greater plan that is unfolding perfectly. Faith also inspires others. When people see your calm assurance, your confidence, and your ability to walk through challenges without being shaken, they are encouraged. Your faith becomes a testimony, a source of strength not only for yourself, but for those around you. It reminds them that there is a higher power at work, that there is guidance available, and that trust can transform fear into peace. So, today, I encourage you to cultivate this kind of faith. Strengthen it daily through reflection, prayer, and trust in God's perfect timing. Let it anchor your heart in the midst of uncertainty. Let it guide your steps with clarity, and let it fill your life with peace that surpasses understanding. Confidence and serenity are not found in control or certainty, they are found in faith. And when you walk in faith, you will discover that even the hardest moments are manageable, every delay is purposeful, and every blessing is arriving at exactly the right time. Walk with faith, and let it bring peace and confidence to every step of your journey. Release the burden of worry, and let calm assurance guide your steps.